Hello, everybody. We're back on Tuesday for LinkedIn Live. And this week we are talking about holiday parties because, the red sweaters have come out and it is time to be RSVPing or figuring out whether your company is doing the live in person this year. Maybe it's smaller, maybe it's just teams going out by themselves and there's some kind of virtual thing. Well, holiday parties lead to a lot of anxiety, right? They lead to worries about what to say, what you're going to do, all of those things. And if you check out my website at www.movingimageconsulting.com and just search through my blogs, just about every year around this time, I put out something about holiday party strategies. And a couple of weeks ago, right here, we talked about the Thanksgiving gathering and how to position yourself in a way to avoid the person that talks your ear off or that you don't enjoy talking to. Things like choosing a seat that doesn't have anybody next to you so they can't come sit next to you, putting a barrier between you physically with a table or something so that there is some space that remains. So you can go back to that live from, I believe, 2 weeks ago or so, and watch that as well as look through those blogs. And so I'm picking and choosing, and some of this will probably overlap from those things because, truth be told, this morning when you get up before 6 and you think, oh, that's going to be plenty of time to be ready for the live at 8, and you can still get your kid to school and all of those things. Well, it'll be maybe a little bit more off the cuff than usual. I do have notes, but it was kind of a last night this morning kind of thing, and that's just the way I roll lately. So if you don't know me and you're finding this live, I am Allison Henderson. Realize I never even introduced myself. That's how perhaps off my game I am this morning, but I'm owning it. And but my company is Moving Image Consulting. I am a body language expert, believe it or not, really truly am. And you can Google me and find a lot of the comments that I've made in different magazines or online sources and things. Just last week, I was asked to comment on the Alec Baldwin interview that was on, and so basically you watch it and then right away you give your comments and or you get on the phone with them and you talk them through what you saw. So I have those kinds of things out there as well. So today, with this being about the holidays, I want to take it kind of in 3 parts. Your preparation before the party, some tips for handling things during the party, and then third, a few tips for if it's completely virtual party. And depending on where you are across the country, depending on different mask mandates, and now with this new Omicron thing hitting the country, I think, we may still be a lot virtual this year with your holiday parties. If you have any questions throughout, definitely throw them my way. Say hello if you're out there. I always just like to know that people are watching. And for those of you watching late after the fact, I do know that more of you watch later than actually watch live, just partially because of the time of day. And any of you guys that are on the West Coast are really probably not tuning in at 6 a.m. So maybe my time will be changing. I don't know. I keep saying that, but I know I can always be here on Tuesday at 8 a.m. And I'm afraid if I change the time to later in the afternoon, I might not be as consistent. So we'll see. But your homework. There should be homework involved in the holiday party, just as there is homework involved before you go to networking events. Because let's face it, the holiday party is basically a networking event. It just happens to be networking with your own people. And you should still do your homework before so that you feel more confident and more comfortable going in, especially if you have some anxiety for this. Maybe it's the first holiday party that you've gone to with this particular company because there's been a lot of turnover, the great resignation and then all that jazz going on. You could be new or not with the company for very long. And if there's many, many people who've never met people in person because it's all been virtual, maybe this will be the first time you actually meet some of your fellow coworkers in person, because you've only been meeting with your team. You haven't been when you were hired during COVID, and you haven't met people outside. So first of all, you can always ask to get a copy of the guest list ahead of time. So whoever is in charge of putting together the party, usually it's somebody in, human resources or something somewhere, and ask them, if you could see the guest list, because you'd like to know who's going to be there. And then you can highlight for yourself who you want to see at the party. Because if this is networking, who are the right people that you want to make sure that you connect with? Somebody that you've never seen in person, you've only talked to on the phone, someone that you haven't seen in a while that maybe moved up a couple rungs on the ladder since you had the last Christmas party. You want to congratulate them. You want to make sure that they recognize and realize that you're still with the company and that maybe you could follow up those ranks. Also, if they have tables, who's going to be at your table? If they are assigning people to tables, find out who those people are. It could be people or your teammates, or HR could be getting fancy and trying to put senior people with new people or different teams, different people from different teams together at the same table. You have no clue as to how that's going to be. And sometimes that can be very disconcerting when you walk in and you see who all is at your table and you're like, oh man, I don't know any of these people. Or I sort of planned to sit with so-and-so because I assumed they were going to be at my table. And we even said ahead of time, we'll talk at the holiday party about that issue that's coming up. Right? How many times have you done that? And then they're not even going to be at your table. So find out who's going to be at your table. And then if there's not assigned seats, go ahead and ask people to sit at your table. Stock your table with the people that you want to talk to. Make it better for yourself. Make it easier for yourself. It is a little bit of homework, but I almost can guarantee you that if it's reciprocal, if these people actually like you too, which isn't guaranteed, they will be very grateful that they also know who they're going to sit with. And then they can turn down people that ask them that they don't want to sit with. Say, oh, you know what? Well, I'm already sitting at Joe's table. Or, hey, Allison asked me if we have a couple things that we wanted to talk about over dinner, so I'm going to be, sitting next to her. It takes out that awkward ask from somebody that you really don't want to sit next to, but you don't know how to say no. But then you already have your answer. So those are some homework things. If you have a really difficult time with names, jot some down and have them in your pocket of the names of the people that you want to meet. Because you can always take it out, glance at it, and then ask somebody, where is Dawn from HR? I really wanted to make sure I introduced myself because she was part of my hiring process and I wanted to tell her how lovely she was or something like that. So you can have that list with you. If you also have been with the company for a long time and you feel like you should know people's names, but you're terrible with names, me for one, terrible with names. I can recognize faces and then never come up with their name. Ask HR if they need help at the name tag table. In general, you can then obviously see which name tags people are picking up, or if they say their name to you and you find it, that is then name recognition to the face. Okay, you've handed them their name, plus that's given you a chance to say hello to almost everybody that's coming. That you can take stock of who's here, who didn't show, the names that are left, and you get a chance to have that face name recognition ahead of time. If they're not badges, but they're stickers, chances are by the time that you get through just the cocktail hour, they're going to be off and on the floor everywhere, and nobody's really going to be wearing them because they don't stick. Hopefully, they are some kind of lanyardy or clip-on magnetized something so that they stay on throughout the party. And you might even want to suggest that to human resources this year. Hey, it's been a long time. I really don't feel like I know half the people that are going to be here now because we've been in this COVID thing. Can we get magnetic name tag holders so that, because you don't want the pokey ones. People are dressed up and they don't want to pin anything through, particularly the women don't want to pin anything onto them because it's going to obviously leave a hole in their fancy dress. Or if it is a fancy party and they're wearing strapless, you know where to go. So you want to have some options for them, but don't do the pin thing. Okay. We're almost out of time already and I'm only through homework. So maybe we'll go to closer to 8:30 today. During the party, here are some strategies for you. Go up to the wallflowers. I know I say this all the time in my networking talks about strategizing for networking, but you really can be the holiday hero. And I wore my Choose Kindness shirt underneath here. Can you read it? Choose kindness. So at the holiday party, choose kindness and go up to the person that doesn't look very comfortable or that looks maybe young. It's okay to talk to a Gen Zer or a Gen Xer. Okay. Millennials, I think, you should be on your own by now. But the younger the folks are, probably the less of these things they've been through and the more awkward they feel. And before they get too many drinks going in them from going to the open bar, befriend them, ask who they would like to meet, find out how long they've been here, all of those kind of things. Second thing during the party, extract the cringers. What you are looking for is people that are shying away, trying to get away from somebody in their group, because you can see it. They're protecting themselves, or they're literally backing away from things, or they're taking a step away from the group. If you see folks that look like they are in distress and they need to be rescued from that group, it's okay to insert yourself into that group that's chatting and, listen for a minute, maybe even say, to that person, hey, do you want me to introduce you, to some other folks? If they're like, yes, get me out of here, then make a big, bold statement. You really need to meet so-and-so, but before they leave, or you can even say, I promised Kathy I would introduce you to her, and she texted me that she's getting ready to leave soon. So I'm going to take Jill over here, and we're going to go have that introduction. That way you are helping them, the folks that have a difficult time extracting themselves from awkward discussions. And it's very difficult to add words a lot of times when the discussion is going a way that you don't want it to go. If there's been alcohol involved, and then you start thinking, I don't want to be present here because this comes back to HR, and because they're talking about things that they shouldn't be talking about, or they're just making comments that I'm uncomfortable with from a diversity and inclusion standpoint, or whatever it is. And if you don't feel powerful enough in the moment to say, this is an inappropriate conversation to be having, let's change the subject, which really would be fantastic for you to do, because then you're saving everybody in that little conversation. Or literally asking the person to leave if they are speaking in a way that isn't appropriate. You could ask them to leave your group. Say, where this conversation is going, Frank, is not the kind of conversation I think anybody in this group wants to have. So if you want to have that conversation, take it somewhere else, with as much respect as you can. But you do have to own your power. You have to own your voice. And it's not only silent. I don't only talk about body language. You have to ground your feet into that floor and take a nice stance and say what you think in that moment, in the most kind, choosing kindness with it, but even saying, I don't want this conversation to end badly in a way that is not how you intended it to be understood or to be taken. So let's table this for now. Okay, COVID comfort level. This is a big one, and maybe this is something that I should be writing the blog about this Christmas. This might be the good one to do this week. A couple of things for COVID comfort, because depending on where you're at, whether masked or no masked, or how far apart you need to stay from people, or what the rules are within your company, what the rules are within your state, you still individually have a right to take care of yourself. And I, for one, am immunocompromised. And so I really freak out at a lot of these things. And I've removed myself from as much as I possibly can because of that. I'm vaccinated. I am boosted. I have my flu shot. I'm doing everything I can. But, every time somebody sneezes or coughs, there's a little tiny panic attack going on in my brain. So I, for one, am not comfortable with the handshake coming back into my life quite yet. Hugs coming back into my life unless I know that person, unless they are within my bubble. And so there's a few strategies for that. One, it's fine to say if somebody puts out their hand, you could say, I'm just what was in 2 weeks ago. Stick your hand out and just say, I am not comfortable with shaking hands yet. It's just my personal preference. When this all is over, we'll have that connection, right? Something like that. Same thing with hugging, on that thing. The other option is, particularly during the cocktail hour, is be two-fisted. Normally I say during cocktail hour, only be holding your glass so that your hand is free to shake people's hands. Well, now have the glass, have a plate so that it's not an option. And you could be like, sorry, I can't shake your hand. I'm double-fisted tonight, or whatever. Make it into a joke, some way. But that is a way to literally not have to shake people's hands, right? Okay. Now, online, virtual kinds of parties. They could be more awkward than any other one because, are you supposed to have a glass? Are they going to do a toast? Go Bearcats. Can you see? Got to support our Cincinnati Bearcats. It's my husband's team. They went undefeated this year. They're going to a bowl game. They're not ranked number 4 in the country. So we have to say, woohoo. So I know I have the alumni showing for my hand, but I'm not an alumni, but my husband is. So we're sharing the love today. So one thing during a virtual thing is the organizers really should be doing a lot of prep work to help make it fun. And one trend that I see is, let's just put everybody in breakout rooms and we'll switch breakout rooms every 5 minutes and people can just mingle that way. When that's the only thing that's been planned, my stomach sinks because you don't know who you're getting shoved off into a room with, right? So to be the holiday hero in that situation, I encourage you to have your phone ready with a favorite Christmas song. And you can challenge everybody. Okay, while we're doing this, we're just going to hold our own little dance party in here. Go ahead and leave your name up, but go in and change it, put your name and then like favorite Christmas movie. So the name is still there, but add your favorite Christmas movie to it, or add your favorite Christmas song, or if you have a hilarious Christmas story to share or something, like have them put it in their little name spot, which on Zoom, you just go into the little 3 dots and you can change your name pretty easily. You can even say, put how many years you've been with the company. So then immediately who are the 6-monthers or 1-year people that really don't know anybody, to the long haulers that have been around for 25 years or something, right? So you see what that mix is. But then you could also say, okay, I'm going to play a Christmas tune. We're going to either do name that tune, like get your holiday tune up if you can, if you're on your phone. You only need that 30-second freebie. If you don't actually have it on the phone, you can go into, Apple or Spotify or something to find the song, and then you don't have to pay for it. But encourage them to do that. Or if you are the organizer for the party, tell everybody to come with that, so that when you break them into rooms, you say, okay, for this round of breakout rooms, it's favorite holiday movies. And you're going to share your favorite holiday movie. We're just going to go around that way. For the next room, it's share your holiday song, and we're going to have a little dance party, and that one's going to go a little bit longer. So I might play, I just had it up here. Where did it go? Because then you have to dance like this, right? Stop it. Yeah. Pause. Okay. Because that's how all of the little Disney, right? How all the Snoopy, Charlie Brown characters danced often in that little dance scene. There was all this back and forth thing, and it can fit in your screen, and that's good. And maybe everybody has to follow the leader, whoever song it is, whatever dance move you do, everybody follows with the same dance move. So the moral of the story is come in prepared, right? Whether it's live and you need to refresh your memory on who the people are, particularly if you get that guest list. Wow. Think about how powerful that guest list is. You can go through and connect with people on LinkedIn, say, hey, I saw you're going to be at the party. Maybe let's connect on LinkedIn. Let's be connected here too, or I can't believe we aren't connected, even though we work at the same place. So you can make some connections that way, but you also get their picture. And you can, I have had clients go through and make their cheat sheet with the picture from LinkedIn, and you hope to goodness it looks pretty close to what they still look like now, and the names. So they study it ahead of time, and they go in there, and then they feel more confident and prepared. Confidence comes with being prepared most of the time. And they go in and they have a better time because they have a strategy and they have a plan set out, even for the holiday party. So be prepared. If you are in charge of hosting this party in some way, have some of those games, particularly for virtual, already maybe planned out for don't let the people have to fend for themselves when they go into those groups, particularly if it's random, because you're just throwing people together that don't really want to be necessarily together. And there's that awkward silence. And then somebody feels obligated to say something like, so where's everybody going for Christmas this year? Rather than it being like a question that you've already prepared for that round. So the favorite holiday movies. And remember, you're also dealing with not everything is Christian centered either, or popular centered. Maybe it's your popular holiday Christmas movie, or maybe you give them a choice. There's a survey at the beginning. Out of these 4, which one would you choose to watch? Things like that. You could talk about your favorite. Share a holiday tradition from your family that that you love, or from somebody else's holiday family that you wish you would take over. It could be a holiday tradition you heard about that you thought was neat, or something that you do in your own household. For me, this wasn't something that I grew up with, but when I got married, my husband's family every year bakes birthday Jesus cake for Christmas Eve. So after Mass on Christmas Eve, you come home and you sing happy birthday to Jesus, and you get to have chocolate cake with chocolate icing. What a great tradition, right? Who doesn't want to have chocolate cake? And so that's a tradition that happens rain or shine, no matter where we are. We figure out a way to have this cake. And in general, we share pictures. Like if we're not all together, then there are pictures of each family doing that, separately. So that would be a tradition I could share. So you make it something short. You do something like getting everybody moving with the holiday music is always fun. And so those are some things about just being prepared to, that way you get to be that holiday hero. You get to be the person that is putting everybody at ease. I call the hostess with the mostest. Even if you're not the host of the party, even if you are not the party planner, you can come across as really is saving the day. Find those cringers and save them. Stay open yourself. Go in with a really great attitude instead of, oh, I hate this. If you are going in with a poor attitude, you need to do some tapping work before you get in there. Even though I don't necessarily want to be at this party, I'm afraid I'm not going to know anybody. I know I'm going to forget so-and-so's name. I'm worried about so-and-so having too much to drink, like all that stuff. Go through all of the negatives and then turn it around, right? I can be the one to wear the smile. I could be the one to find the awkward cringer people that are having a tough time, and I can make their time better. I can ask some folks to sit at my table, or I did my homework and I know I'm prepared to have a good time because I'm going to use this to make connections and to raise my profile within the company. Okay, I've gone on. Yep, 8:29. So we are going to get off. Definitely send me comments, thoughts, questions. If you are interested in any of this, strategies, body language strategy, body language for sales, body language for dating, even body language for your videos that you are creating, you need to reach out and we need to have a conversation. Now is a really great time because in my business, things slow down because people are doing holiday parties and those kind of things. They're not necessarily doing training right now. So this is a really great time to schedule strategy calls with me in order to figure out how I may be of service to you in 2022. Have a great week, everybody, and tell me how your holiday parties went. And we will see you next Tuesday live for a different topic. Take care, everybody.